dreaming. 'Cause now that I'm here, what I feel motivates me with reason. I guess I've been dreaming. 'Cause now that I'm woke, everything that I see ain't what it seems. I guess I've been dreaming. 'Cause now that I'm here, what I feel motivates me with reason. I guess I've been dreaming.
Oh, we in there. Okay, now. Oh, peace and love to the guys and gals and the high vibrating species on the planet. The planet of Tiamat, that is. Salute to you. Peace, peace. Come on in. Academates, peace and love. I see ya. Come on in, man. Y'all have a seat. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back into my paradigm. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Hey, we got some video game SCPs up this joint. You know what I'm saying? And we do not have a numerology today. You know what I'm saying? We do got a 40 in the clip though. I hope everybody good at that thing. You know what I'm talking about? Hey, we've been regulating. We've been trying to finesse some things and work some things out. We working. We're working. We're working on it, Academates. You know what I'm saying? We ain't gonna let them keep, you know what I'm saying, discouraging us. Because sometimes it does get a little frustrating. I can't front. It does get frustrating sometimes. I want to be able to drop videos every night and promptly at 7. You know what I mean? I really try to stick to that schedule. But the way that they do things, we're stuck at this point to where we just got to get them out when we can get them out. So I appreciate y'all for working with me. I appreciate everyone for holding tight, understanding what we got going on. I don't understand the reason fully. I kind of get it, but I don't. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to over assume. And we know how most people treat those that they like to deem conspiracy theories when it's a theorist. When conspiracy is to conspire without anybody knowing. So technically there are a lot of conspiracies going on out here. People they don't understand the concept of the word. So it's kind of easy to dismiss what we say because of, I love to say cognitive dissonance, you know what I'm saying? Because you know a lot of people use it. But anyways, man, we got these SCP videos that be going hard over here. And we've been able to reference a lot of worldly events that happens in our reality, based off these SCPs that happens in this universe. And we've been able to use numerology to do so, and a little bit of etymology, when certain words come up, and we'll dive into the Latin or the Greek or whatever meanings to get a true meaning of the word, because sometimes words, if you don't know the meanings, will go over your head, right? All right. So, but anyways, today we're gonna be rocking with these video game SCPs. We got Among Us sitting right here in front of us. I didn't get hip to this until my children, you know what I'm saying, was viewing it, and I'm like, what's going on? So I'm hoping that this ain't one of the video games, but obviously it's gonna be one. So let's check these games out. Let's see if they're actually safe. Let's see if they're Euclid. Let's see if there's anything that we should be aware of, possibly, that we should be mindful in whether or not we should let our children view them, just in case. Now, remember, you do not have to believe anything that comes on this channel, through this channel, from this channel, via what we view or via what I say. But we do ask that everybody do their own due diligence, their own research, come to their own conclusion. That is your own 3 times. So that's on you, 369. If you understand it, get to work. You know what I mean? So that's what we ask only, is that you do your own. And this is our perspective, our opinion, and we're entitled to it. If you don't like it or you don't agree to it, that's fine. Just keep the disrespect to yourself. Simple. Or you can be famous. However you like it. But anyways. Oh yeah. So Anthrax Crab, one of the top subscribers and Academates, asked for the link to my music channel. So if you go to the community post, I think around Christmas maybe, there should be a link there to my music page. Not much music on it. I'm still formulating, still getting let's say legal dockets, everything like that before certain releases. It's stuff like that I'm going through to be able to release and have no issues. I don't want to have any issues when I release my music, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. And that's why I kind of held out on dropping music on YouTube, because of all the changes that's going on with the music industry and how streaming works and how artists get paid. It's kind of hectic right now, so it's kind of like, do I want to release my music now or do I want to do it later? But anyways, but the link is there. I think it's there. I'll get with staff, or I'll go and look myself and see that it's there. You know what I mean? And yeah, check it out. You know what I'm saying? Let me know what you think. Whatever, you know what I'm saying? Y'all make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe on that channel there, which is it's Exile 7 Academy, not, you know what I'm saying, Academy 7. So as you see, the Academy and the 7 is still there. So Exile 7 Academy, which one of my guys do comment from that page on some of these videos. So because they watch as well. But anyways, we got these video game SCPs. Hopefully everything works out with the new equipment that I get in. I will be starting my gaming channel, or at least I'll try to attempt to start a gaming channel. I don't have any of those top-notch games that y'all talk about, y'all know about. I may be asking for some requests when I get that channel up and going. I'm working on also the history channel, where we talk about a little bit of history, because I do like history. So we are working on getting that channel formulated as to what direction we want to go. There's so many people talking about history, and it goes in so many different directions. So we want to be sure that we jump in a good spot, find a good niche of history to talk about and discuss, and we should be able to get that underway as well. So yeah, and that's another request upon one of the academics. You know what I'm saying? They requested that I do some reactions to some of that stuff there, because they're into it, which I don't mind. I just got to make sure that it's right for the move and right for the moment that we do it. But it's on the way though. You know what I'm saying? Just don't think that we just overlooked it. No, we're definitely working on it. We're trying to see how we can fit it in. Seeing that we have all these technical problems, it makes it a little bit more difficult and yet frustrating again to get this information out to y'all via that channel, this channel, or any other channel that I want to do. If they keep jacking up my internet, how can it work? See what I'm saying? So we're trying to make things finessing. Like right now, you know what I'm saying? I try to be as transparent as possible. Like right now, I'm actually working my tower off the hotspot of my cell phone. Every other computer in the house has full internet. My brand new gaming computer, it won't keep the internet connection. So I'm having to use my hotspot to get it up and running. See what I'm saying? In this studio here. And then this computer here, over here, it keeps having a power malfunction. I just took it to the shop and got the power supply changed out, swapped out, fixed everything. We was up and running. We was good. We was back to back consistent. Then it went blish again. Don't know. So I appreciate y'all working with me. But anyways, you know what I'm saying? Enough of that jargon. We have the video game SCPs. We got amongst us right here. We don't know if Buddy's going to actually make a debut in the video. You know what I'm talking about? But Academy, so I hope you got what you need, because I do. And without further ado, we're going to get to what it is that we do. That was just a little update to let y'all know what we got going on, myself and the crew. You know what I mean? Academates, I really do appreciate you. If you're new, you already know what to do. Pull up a chair, learn something today. Let's go.
Game SCPs.
Video game.
When the average fan thinks of an SCP, they are likely imagining some sort of hostile and dangerous entity, such as the statue or the hard-to-destroy reptile. But as we've seen, anomalies can come in all shapes and sizes.
Hey man, what y'all think about the Orcadian Horseman, man? I mean, am I the only one that really just thinks that the dude is cool, but at the same time he is somebody that you don't want to encounter? You know what I'm saying? Have y'all got Have y'all watched that video via mine or anybody else's yet? What y'all think about the Arcadian Horseman? Because he really don't come up much. I think they scared. Me personally, I think they just scared to even mention his name. Oh, you need some fresh water? You be all right. But when you got the water contaminated, well, okay.
SCPs can exist as locations, cosmic phenomena, animals, mundane objects, and even video games. While this idea might call to mind some well-known video game creepypasta, such as Ben Drowned, SCPs tend to vary quite a bit in direction.
Okay, just so you know, they possibly gonna call out some video games that I've probably never even heard of. So don't be looking at me crazy and judging me and stuff because I'm looking at the screen like, the hell is that? Don't do me that way, please.
Let's take a look at a handful of anomalies. Either
I got two video games. I got two video games right now because when I bought the PlayStation 4, yes, I'm still on the 4. I don't have a 5 or whatever number y'all on. I don't. Okay, it's okay. And I got two video games. I got what was it? Uncharted or something like that. I got the Uncharted video game, right? And I got one of my favorite video games from the first PlayStation. I got Samurai Warriors. So y'all might get to see me ball out on Samurai Warriors. You know what I'm saying? Just to get back in tune with video gaming, and then I'm gonna ask y'all for some suggestions of some video games to play. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully, I guess, you know what I'm saying, we can get online together and we can ball out. You know what I'm talking about? We can talk about SCPs online while we video game. You feel me? I'm not ashamed. Let's go.
Games or connected to them.
I ain't never scared.
SCP-896 is a well-known, massively multiplayer online role-playing game, or MMORPG. SCP-896 is a well-known, massively multiplayer online role-playing game, or MMORPG. And although the version that's playable by the public has no anomalies, the original code does. The abnormal behavior of the original code manifests when a user creates an avatar that shares the exact first and last name of the user. When this happens, the user is imprinted upon the avatar, and any changes to the avatar's statistics will have a direct impact upon the user. There are 6 attributes associated with characters in the game, and raising these stats will cause a corresponding increase in the physical or mental characteristics of the user. If a character's strength increases, so does the user's. If the agility increases, users report a high accuracy of movement and control over their body, allowing for a greater speed of movement with no sacrifice of skill or accuracy. If stamina increases, a user can go longer without food or sleep, has enhanced physical endurance, and even resistance to disease and physical damage. A higher charisma grants the user a deep understanding of individuals and the capability of manipulating them to their own wants. A higher intelligence leads to an increase in information retention and problem solving, while a higher wisdom grants a person a deeper understanding of situations and people, and allows them to see the best possible solution for problems, depending on their moral and ethical priorities.
Ooh, man, some people out here, I just got to be honest with you, some people don't have any moral code standards at all. They just out here, just out here. Steer clear. Most of them people, I would think, excuse me, and I don't know for sure, but I would think most of these people are energy or are prone to be energy vampires because they have no moral. So you know what I'm saying. That means anybody can get it at any moment, no matter what it is. Lie, cheat, steal, unalived, crossed out, treason, traitor. You know what I mean? Like, when you ain't got no morals, bro, you probably one of the most dangerous people alive. Because there's no telling what you do. Like, you'd cross yourself out if you weren't careful. You know what I'm saying?
So far, it sounds good. However, if any single stat is at least 15% greater than any other stat, all other physical attributes of the user suffer. the Foundation decided to do a test run with 5 D-Class, each focusing on a single stat while leveling their characters in the game. A Knight to focus on stamina, a Berserker to focus on strength, a Cleric to focus on wisdom, a Warlock to focus on intelligence, and a Bard to focus on charisma. The first test allowed them to play for a few hours to focus on wisdom, a Berserker in the game, a Knight to focus on stamina, a Berserker to focus on strength, a Cleric to focus on wisdom, a Warlock to focus on intelligence, and a Bard to focus on charisma.
No defense? Now, I know what you probably know what you think. Good guy. I know what you think. He has the Berserker. I play role-playing games. Excuse me. Woo. Calm down, guy. Jeez, girl. Woo. Man, let me tell you. Final Fantasy is one of my favorite role-playing games. And I always remember and always see there's somebody that we require, you know what I'm saying, acquire on our team that has the skills of defense. They shield. What about the medic? We have somebody that heals. We got a defense guy, we have a heal, and we have the strength. So y'all missing 2 attributes. You're missing defense. Strength means you can probably throw a punch. Can you take one, though? And where's your medic? You're going to need one. Like all the wisdom in the world.
Allowed them to play for,
but if you get knocked out, you can't use such wisdom, right? You need come on now, you need something.
For a few hours, which did not grant much experience, and thus simply established a baseline for each D-Class. After a week of play, however, effects began to become noticeable. The Knight displayed an increased pain tolerance and was able to maintain a full sprint on a treadmill for 2 minutes longer than the week prior, while the Berserker developed a more muscular physique and was able to lift 9% more. The Warlock's abilities in information recall and application have increased dramatically, while the Cleric began conducting highly organized and logical debates with researchers regarding the ethics and purpose of testing humans with SCPs. The Bard's abilities are predictably difficult to test for, however.
Why?
So far, none of their primary stats have gone over that 15% threshold, so they let them play for another week. During play, the Berserker broke his keyboard and mouse by gripping them too hard, so he was given a new set made of steel. All of the D-Class began deferring to the Bard's judgment in any situation, and began giving all of the magic items they find to him, regardless of his actual need or use for them. The Berserker has been instructed to begin increasing his agility attribute so that he can better control his strength, and the Bard has been forbidden from speaking during testing. The Warlock is now approaching savant-level intelligence, but the Knight and Berserker's IQ has plummeted. Meanwhile, the Bard, Cleric, and Warlock have significantly reduced energy levels now, and have lost 20% of their muscle mass since starting. During the following period of gaming, the Knight and Berserker got into an argument over who should receive a magic item, leading to the Berserker throwing the Knight into a concrete wall. The Berserker was easily subdued by security with a taser, as he possesses no additional toughness or endurance, while the Knight was unharmed by the throw, but he possesses no additional strength. More troublesome, the mental faculties of every subject has plummeted, including the Warlock, who, despite having near-perfect recall, has lost nearly all ability of applying his knowledge. Even the slightest leap in logic or creative thinking is beyond him. Conversely, the cleric's long-term memory has been severely limited, and he must be briefed on all aspects of a problem before formulating a solution. Both the cleric and the warlock now require wheelchairs and assistance in feeding themselves. The knight's skin has become so hard as to lose all elasticity, and the skin near his joints has to be lacerated with a diamond-bladed saw in order to provide the necessary range of movement for testing. The berserker, however, requires continual skin grafting at this point, as his muscle growth has outstripped the elasticity of his skin. Later, the bard managed to breach containment after convincing the guard who brought his food to let him out. He proceeded to walk to the site cafeteria and convinced the personnel there to make him a steak and some strawberry ice cream, and upon completing the meal, returned to his cell to sleep. Recognizing the threat his abilities posed, he was ordered to be terminated, but it's theorized that he only returned to his cell because the thought of escape never even entered his mind. The cleric has requested permission to invest in some intelligence in order to enhance his failing memory, which is tentatively approved, as nearly all of the subjects require the cleric's guidance to perform any task. The berserker, meanwhile, claims that he is no longer experiencing any increase of strength or agility, despite continued gain in the game, but the Foundation isn't quite sure they believe him. Communication with all of the subjects is becoming increasingly difficult due to each of them losing language skills. Sometime later, the berserker managed to remove his shock collar on the way back to their containment cells, killing a few guards due to his strength and speed being much higher than anticipated. He proceeded to free the other subjects, and he and the warlock made their way back to where the game was stored. The knight remained behind to hold off the rest of the guards for 10 minutes, as standard weaponry couldn't harm him. He was eventually terminated by being forced into a containment cell and asphyxiated, which took around 20 minutes.
I want y'all to peep these right here. For those that don't know. For those that don't know. This is called a sigil. This is magic. Look around your cities, your towns, cars, buildings, logos. They're all sigils. Magic. There's no telling what they could mean. I even have a few. Easy to make. Different ways to make them, but you never can tell what it really truly means. So, but yeah, I just wanted to bring that to you. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to really dive into it like that. But yeah, just, you know what I'm saying, kind of look into this stuff. Look at this. This is the stuff that you need to look into, because it's the stuff that you see on a regular basis and you pay it no mind. You turn a blind eye to it, and you don't realize that it could be an actual attack on you. You wouldn't know. But if you got familiar with it, you'd be a lot more cautious. And this is what I mean when I say being able to protect your energy. It's a way to protect your energy. That's really the reason why I'm saying it. Just giving you things to look out for that you can find in the real world. That's right here in video games as well. And the funny part about it is, most people from video games, sci-fi / pseudoscience, we know more about this stuff than most people do, right? But we get called conspiracy theorists and But when you realize that it's stuff that's actually being used and possibly against you, what do you do then? You've already shunned everybody that knew anything about it. So now we don't want to deal with you anymore. We don't want to give you any information. We don't want to help you. Why? Because you shunned us when we tried to tell you about it.
Upon reaching the 896
that's why I encourage you to do your own. That's why I say just go do your own research. Come to your own conclusion. You know what I mean? Believe it or not, whatever. It is what it is. But I do know about these things. I can say that. So, and I can say that they're real.
Cell, the Warlock instructed the Berserker to open the security door, which he did by ripping it off its hinges. This act swiftly killed him, however, as the force required to do so resulted in a number of his bones being shattered and his spine snapping in 3 places. He had the strength to perform the feat, but his bone structure was still, unfortunately, human. The Warlock then accessed the game, taking 7 minutes to decipher the source code and directly edit his character's stats. Upon changing all of his stats to the max values, he disappeared and has yet to be found.
Get up, boy.
Upon reviewing his account information stored in the game, researchers found a customer service notation simply stating that the user has been banned for hacking. The cleric managed to escape containment during the whole debacle, and his whereabouts are also unknown. He was likely the mastermind behind the whole breach, and likely used the help of a researcher to access another SCP and use it to escape. It was also later discovered that another researcher was conservatively using the game to augment his stats, leveling them uniformly to avoid any negative effects. He was 53 years old, in good health, and his strength and IQ had increased 7% over the course of playing the game. At one point, however, over a Thanksgiving weekend, he decided to have a gaming marathon with the game, playing it for a handful of hours straight before dying. Autopsies revealed evidence of severe arthritis, early onset Alzheimer's, cataracts, and development of several tumors, with the conclusion that he had died of old age. I guess it's not a magical improvement anomaly after all. Moving on to something a little bit more old school.
You see, he just mentioned magic. See what I'm saying? I played this game. Very hard game as well, but I definitely played it. Starts out like that, and then he gradually builds up, gets his armor on. Yeah, and rolling around with a lance. You know what I'm saying? Well, running around with a lance, going in. I said, yeah, I remember this video game.
Cool. SCP-1315 is a gray cartridge to be used with a Nintendo Entertainment System, or NES. The cartridge itself is unlabeled, but the accompanying manual indicates that the game is titled Professor Ghoul's Terrifying Horror Challenge, a realistic, high-stakes action game for 1 to 2 players.
Definitely wasn't all that.
The manual reads, Professor Ghoul's Terrifying Horror Challenge is a realistic and scary action game that the entire family can enjoy. The manic Professor Ghoul invites all comers to test their mettle, wits, and strength in his fantastic challenge. Do you have what it takes to be victorious? Playing the game is easy. All you have to do is choose whether you want to go it alone or with a friend, and then do whatever it takes to survive level after level of horrifying action and adventure. Once you've started the game, you can play it anywhere. Home, in town, at school, wherever Professor Ghoul's spooky creations find you. The fun never ends. Be careful though, Professor Ghoul is a man of honor, and once you've decided to take on the challenge, you can't stop until someone emerges the victor. Manage to get through with all your body parts intact, and you'll be the coolest kid in town. Lose, however, and you're at the mercy of Professor Ghoul. Okay. There are no extra lives in Professor Ghoul's Terrifying Horror Challenge, and no second chances. Get game over, and you're done. When using a game with an NES, a black screen will appear with the options of 1 player or 2. Pressing either option will then bring up a prompt to confirm that the individuals currently holding controllers are those that wish to play the game. Pressing yes at this point will cause the game to beep loudly. Pressing yes at the controllers.
Y'all see this? You see the witch face in it? You know what I'm saying? Almost look like Medusa or something. they would want to say, like a scary witch to me though, because Medusa was hot, spicy. You know what I mean? The reason why she got turned like that, you know what I mean? Because she was drop dead gorgeous type deal. But anyway, I just noticed that, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't nothing special.
Are those that wish to play the game. Pressing yes at this point will cause the game to beep loudly and display a blank red screen. The game has now begun, and the player or players will be subjected to a series of increasing...
I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. You know what I'm talking about? As a jit, you know what I'm saying? A little jit, you feel me? That one was a little spooky. That, cause I mean, when he pop out on you, that boy pop out on you. You know what I'm talking about? So it's like I would, you know what I'm saying? Say this is one of the games that pop scare. It went there. Cause I'm like, oh, and then you having to grind it out with him real quick, and then get up and then duck dive. I'm like, man, these games back in the day was like something serious. Throwback games were serious, bro. Like when we're talking challenging, and it really took critical thinking to, you know what I'm saying, to win the game. You know what I'm saying, to conquer the game and whatnot. These days, there's certain games that I play, you know what I'm saying, they give you everything. It's not really challenging. Like, it's challenging, but it's the controls to me have become a lot more challenging versus the game itself. Back in the day, the controls were a lot more simpler, but the game was a lot more challenging, and it required critical thinking. These days, it don't require much critical thinking. Not even in the running gun shoot'ems, you know what I'm saying? Modern warfare and all those type games. It doesn't really require much thinking. And the reason why is because it's like you're not in a real battlefield. Like if you're in a real battlefield where bullets really flying over your head, then yeah, you're gonna need the thoughts. You're gonna need a clear mind. You're gonna need to be able to think, because it's not fun. Trust me. Take it from me.
Increasingly horrific challenges that will seemingly manifest in the physical world, but only for the players to see.
But yeah, this is definitely Jason.
The players will have to escape from or combat a series of hostile creatures across a number of levels, and it's unknown how many challenges must be completed to win the game, as no one the Foundation has tested it on has beaten it so far. The highest a D-Class has managed so far has been level 33. Once the game has commenced, it cannot be halted until either the players win or are defeated. Turning the NES off will simply make the players unable to receive hints from the game itself, and the challenges will proceed to follow the players wherever they go. As the challenges increase in difficulty, players are likely to become captured by the entities, at which point the game will end, and the players will disappear to an unknown location. We're given a test log of a playthrough, with a note telling us that different playthroughs tend to be rather similar, with only a slight element of randomness. The first level consists of a large number of spiders, rats, or various insects attempting to overwhelm the players. A large container of insecticide or rodent poison appears somewhere within the vicinity of the players, and the challenge is over once the vermin are all destroyed. The third level consists of a group of 2 to 6 wild animals, a combination of bears, wolves, and large cats, attempting to eat the players, and they have to survive for 1 hour. A shotgun and box of rounds appear in the vicinity, but using it to
That's Castlevania.
kill any of the animals will cause 2 more animals to appear within 5 minutes. In the
I'm telling y'all, I can't remember what it's called, but there's a stick. There's a video game stick, old video games, you know what I'm saying, that you can get, and you can get all these games for all the video gamers out there, you know what I'm saying, all you gamers out there. I'm sure you've heard of the thing, you know what I'm saying, so I may be just late to the party, but it is what it is. For those that ain't never heard of it, there is this device out there that has these games on it. I don't know if it's going to have all these games on it, but for the most part, I know Castlevania's on it, Jason's on it, and a whole bunch of other games that I remember are on it. But yeah, this is definitely Castlevania.
7th level, the player's location is assaulted by 1 or 2 hostile men armed with weapons ranging from machetes and axes to a chainsaw or even a firearm. The players must survive for 1 hour or kill the attackers, although they're given no weapons. In the 9th level, the players are pursued by 2 to 5 armed men, resembling a random group of authority or a local police force, with the intent of apprehending the players.
How was that even
They
remotely
win
fair?
the challenge if they resist capture for 2 hours, and a loaded firearm does appear within the vicinity, although using it to kill any attackers will cause them to call for backup. Level 12 has an unseen but hostile force attacking the player's location, capable of manipulating physical objects, including the player. 3 random objects, generally reported to be documents, photographs, or ornaments owned by a previous player, appear in the vicinity, and the level is won when the players find all of them and burn them. Level 16 has a group of 4 to 8 humanoids appear and create makeshift weapons before hunting down the players. Level 18 has an entity resembling another SCP, with a note that it's easier for 2 players to win this than a single player, suggesting that it's likely the statue. Level 20 consists of the players being tortured in a windowless room for 30 minutes. Level 23 involves the players being stranded in a dense forest and hunted by a number of unknown creatures until they reach a wooden shack a number of kilometers away. And level 27 involves the players being attacked by shadow entities in a rundown urban area. They are attacked if the players move too fast or make too much noise, and the players have to travel a number of kilometers to find a weapon that they can use to destroy the entities. Level 28 consists of a group of entities resembling people familiar to the players, appearing at their location, all subdued in a manner that they pose no danger. The players win by killing all of the entities with a supplied weapon, while the entities address the players personally and mention personal histories of the people they resemble. In level 29, the players perceive themselves to be on the top floor of an outer tower of a medieval-style castle that overlooks an expanse of forest, with a heavily armed and extremely hostile entity known as the Professor chasing them. The players have to find some keys hidden throughout the castle and then escape. In level 31, the players find themselves on a vast island containing the remains of an abandoned military complex, a small urban area, a network of underground tunnels, and patches of dense forest. The players are again pursued by the Professor entity, as well as 3 to 6 entities resembling the victims from level 28, all who move faster than the players and appear to communicate with telepathy.
That's a weird setup. It made me think of something. A certain island.
The player's goal is to survive for 24 hours, but at every 3rd hour, 2 to 4 additional humanoids materialize within the zone. The players are not provided with any weapons, but can use whatever is at their disposal to stun or kill the pursuers. The last level reached by D-Class, level 33, has been expunged entirely. Continuing with the NES is SCP-4054, a platform adventure game titled The Seventh Door, released in 1988. The contents of each cartridge released vastly exceeds the storage limitations of its chip, and extracting its ROM produces a data file too large to be contained on any currently available device. 300 of the cartridges were produced, and since the game can't be copied, has limited replayability, and it's in an incomplete state, functional copies of the game are highly valued by NES collectors. The game is also notable for its unique method of bypassing the North American version of the NES lockout system. It does this by having 2 transistors on the cartridge that function as a voltage inverter, which produce a voltage spike that disables a circuit on the console and bypasses the lock. Later iterations of the NES included some modifications to prevent this bypass technique. A defect in this voltage inverter's design, however, causes irreparable damage to the cartridge's SRAM with each reset, producing an increasing number of glitches, inevitably resulting in the game becoming non-functional. On top of that, the game was also shipped in an incomplete state, resulting in a number of aspects of the game being missing or broken. The protagonist has no extra lives, so upon dying all progress is lost and the cartridge resets, which is a problem. All power-ups described in the manual are absent in the game except for one, the Hand of Glory, which prevents all monsters and platforms from moving for 10 seconds. As a side note, a Hand of Glory was said to be the dried and pickled hand of a hanged man, which, when used to hold a candle made of the man's fat, could render everyone who viewed it immobile. All monsters in the game are missing, and falling into a pit doesn't kill the player, instead causing them to continue to fall off screen as the game over sound loops. While in most games this would make it rather difficult to actually die, the protagonist in The Seventh Door dies at apparently random intervals, typically after a period of remaining still, regardless of whether or not the game is paused. Memory overflow errors periodically cause sprites to load incorrectly, and the prisoners in the game use the protagonist's sprite rather than their own. After unlocking a door, prisoners provide no clues regarding the location of other keys, as the text boxes are empty. Despite the manual claiming that the 7th level is the final one, researchers have uncovered several hundred levels more, consisting of vast networks of crypts, prisons, abandoned factories, and empty underground cities. This seems to be the reason why the game's file is so large, and the total number of levels is unknown. The 7th level also does not contain the 7th key, meaning that the game has yet to be beaten. So far, it's not absurdly anomalous, but in 2004, an amateur NES collector named Charles Rogers posted a thread on the now-defunct online forum openingtheseventhdoor.int under the username Inky49. He suggested using an NES Game Genie cheating device to directly set the protagonist's number of keys to 7. Several days later, he posted a link to a stream where he intended to beat the game using this exploit. Partway through the run, however, the video abruptly stopped, and a follow-up investigation determined that he had gone missing. The copy of The Seventh Door was missing from his console, and several fingernails torn from his left hand were found inside of the console.
Okay, so just so, because they're sitting right in front of me, this 4 and this 3 is the Empress card being the 3 and the Emperor's card being the 4. And that's tarot, if you're into such a thing. So that's authority, ambition, material stability. Symbolizes power of the mind in the social world. Creativity, fertility, and relationships. Represents full moon, the bringer of life. Rulership of communication. So that's the 3. Communication. The 4. Social world. Symbolizes power of the mind. Video games. The mind. Communication.
To date, it has been linked to 25 disappearances and remains under investigation.
Maybe communicating.
That was definitely more of the classic creepypasta style of articles.
Oh, yeah.
So let's move on to something a bit more modern and a bit more controversial.
What's that? What you got?
SCP-5167 is an entity known to manifest as a player in the online multiplayer game Among Us, under the username of Thonus.
Thonus.
The entity will randomly join multiplayer lobbies and participate as a normal player.
Okay.
Although the majority of its speech using the in-game chat consists of lengthy diatribes. Individuals who interact with the entity in-game will begin to exhibit symptoms of paranoia and Capgras delusion, a disorder in which they come to believe that those around them have been replaced with identical imposters.
Now, if your baby start acting up, you know where they got it from. I'm telling you, if your baby start acting up out there and they dealing with the mongoose, you know, I'm talking about if they among us, then they among you.
The severity of these symptoms varies from person to person, but it has been significant enough to prompt acts of self-defense, up to and including homicide. These symptoms were originally believed to last for several months, but have lessened to 1 or 2 weeks as observation has continued. The player Thonus was a minor urban legend in the Among Us community, leading the Foundation to investigate and discover a number of accounts of player encounters with the entity. The Foundation tasked one of their learning computers with tracking sessions of the game until the entity was encountered, with the players in said session beginning to exhibit the symptoms associated with 5167. So far, they've been unable to track down the user behind the entity, however, with all attempts to locate the access point used just leading to deserted addresses in rural Greece. An intelligence director leaves a note saying that when they first discovered the entity, the impact it had on its victims was severe, with one player mutilating his family's faces. Almost immediately after discovery, however, and since then, the potency of its effects have started to decline. Full detachment from reality became delusion, and delusion became paranoia, which is lessening with each new case. Based on their observations, Thonus's effects will become inert before long, although they don't know if it will continue to pop up in matches or not. During one of these appearances, a player asks Thonus where they were when the others were doing Reactor.
Man, somebody should have asked them where are my arms at? Like, y'all got keys up here, y'all got a whole joystick right here, and somebody need to tell me exactly who in the hell is joysticking and keying. I always wondered that when I saw him just running around with 2 little legs, just scooting, running through room to room, and I'm like, man, where their arms at? Why they ain't got no arms? Like you just like you're in a sleeping bag or something with some. Okay.
Thonus replies that he was there when the mountains were newborn and the oceans virginal. He was there when gods walked among men and their wisdom was cast down like sunlight. He was there when mankind was capable of legends, and now he finds himself in a world that has forgotten even the taste of life, even the very concept of life beyond existing from one day to the next, where all the world is wasted away in idle play of emotions that once rang true. He is in a world where even the gods are forgotten, their bones washed away by time. A world where man has moved on, and all the legacy he has left are 3 sentences on Wikipedia.
Damn.
He thought his time had come again, and this could be the new him. But this is nothing, and he wants to stay dead this time. Chat is silent for 12 seconds before someone else comments that red is sus. For some context, Thonus was the Greek personification of jealousy and envy, generally in matters of romance. It seems that Thonus was awoken in the modern day and has been attempting to use Among Us to breed paranoia and delusions, but has just become more and more disillusioned with the modern world, slowly fading away once more. As I said, it's a fairly contentious article due to being based around a very modern, fad game. So let's finish with one based around a much more classic game, Quake.
Is that really what he got going on? That the I don't want to call him an imposter, you know what I'm saying? But whoever this dude, is that really, or is that just speculative? Hold on, let me go grab my charger.
SCP-2639 is a phenomenon that manifests as a 1 kilometer cubic volume wherein anomalous entities and objects materialize, then dematerialize around 1 to 2 hours later. An imperceptible barrier around this area prevents the entities from leaving during this time. The entities are 3 humanoids, equipped with anomalous weaponry and armor, each one exhibiting superhuman speed, strength, endurance, resistance to injury, and perceives no pain or discomfort. When any of the entities are destroyed, an undamaged copy will appear shortly after, somewhere within the vicinity. The objects that materialize in the area are intangible, each hovering slightly above the ground and rotating on a horizontal axis. When the entities make contact with these objects, the objects typically disappears and confers a beneficial effect to the entity, including new anomalous weaponry, increased resistance to injury, and higher overall damage output. One particular type of object, known as an ammo pack, only appears when one of the entities or a non-anomalous human expires. Along with this effect is a customized desktop computer running without a discernible power source, which has been hosting a heavily modified Quake deathmatch game since 1997. The session has 3 participants connected to it through anomalous means, and they have been identified as 3 teenagers that have been missing since June 18th, 1997. The Foundation didn't discover the computer until 2010, but the phenomenon had been popping up all over the world, causing havoc and dematerializing without a trace. In 2009, the effect manifested in Tuscany, centered on a small church on the outskirts of a town. Local police officers responded, leading to a conflict that culminated with the collapse of the church. 54 people died, 12 were critically injured, and 30 had minor injuries, with the Foundation covering it up with a story involving a tanker truck carrying petrol overturning and igniting, destroying the church and killing the congregation inside.
Garbage. Now, you know, I'm not even going for that, man. You know what I'm talking about? I'm going for a whole, never mind. You know what I'm saying? I'm just going to let that ride. But you know that I don't do, no way, bro. The whole congregation, bro. And y'all came up with what was the lame excuse you used? A tanker?
When the Foundation discovered the computer, they were able to log onto the server running the Quake match, where the 3 players were chatting with one another as if it were a normal game. When the researcher chimes in, they tell him that this is a private server, and one of them says to boot him and to load the next map. The researcher says that he's accessing the server from a computer they found, which they believe belongs to one of them, a Miss Gloria Stanfield. The one player accuses him of hacking and says to boot him, but Gloria asks how he knows her name. The researcher asks if any of them can tell him where they are right now. This question causes the 3 of them to panic, finally realizing that the only thing they can perceive is the computer screen in front of them. They wonder how they're even typing, as they can't see a keyboard. The researcher asks them to calm down, and says that they're here to help, but it's imperative that they not play any more matches. The other 2 are still panicking, but Gloria asks why it's imperative that they don't play anymore, to which the researcher just says that it might complicate any attempts to retrieve them. One of them says that he remembers playing hundreds of matches, and they could have been here for weeks.
They in trouble.
They wonder if their parents know what's been going on.
It sounds like trouble.
The researcher says they don't, as they think that the three of them have been missing since 1997.
All right.
This remark causes them to question the current date, which the researcher reveals is 2010, resulting in them panicking even more. Gloria eventually calms them down, saying that they need to think this through, and the researcher eventually tells them to start up another match, but don't do anything but follow his instructions. Upon loading a new map, they tell him that it's just another custom map with a huge field, some trees, some zombies, and some Rottweilers. One of them questions why the monsters are...
I mean, y'all say that like it's just that's an easy combination to deal with. Some Rottweilers, bro, for real, Rottweilers and zombies, cuz I mean that's enough to deal with by itself, especially if they on the attack. Man, I mean, if you got one of them, I think you'd be alright though. You know what I'm saying? You just better make sure you got enough ammo.
Running, but another says that it's something to do with the mod they're using, and they run most of the time. The researcher tells them to stay still and not attack anything, as they're trying to find them. The players begin to be attacked by units they call grunts, but Gloria says that it's fine, they'll just respawn, and to not shoot them. One of the other players, Jim, shoots back, resulting in Gloria killing him, and explaining that they're people, either police or soldiers. They realize that they haven't just been playing a game, but right now they're in a park. The Foundation has found their location and is sending a unit to retrieve them, telling them to just stand still. One player asks how they found them, but Gloria says they probably just turned on the news. Some days go by, and it seems that the Foundation has been unsuccessful in pulling them out of the server. Jim has apparently been silent for 3 days, and none of them feel like starting up another match to help the Foundation research the situation. Jim pops in then to ask how many people he's killed, but the researcher doesn't know, and even if he did, he doesn't know if that number would be helpful. Jim bets that it's more than 1,000, and the worst part is that he killed them for ammo so that he could shoot his friends, with the worst part being that he doesn't even know what any of them looked like. The others say that they'll deal with this together, but Jim says that he deserves to die, although he knows he'll just respawn. A month goes by, and now none of the players are talking to either the Foundation or each other. They know that the three are still connected, and the researcher says he'll just try again tomorrow. More time goes by, with the researcher continuing to check in every week, but there hasn't been a response in a long time. He says that it's been so long that the higher-ups barely even consider them anomalous anymore. He says that he's been telling them that he knows that this is hard, but the truth is that none of them can even begin to fathom what it's been like for them. They were just some ordinary teenagers that got sucked into a game without realizing it, and have been responsible for over 1,500 deaths, as far as they can figure. He has a teenage son himself, so even though he can't understand, he can sympathize. He doesn't think any of them are evil, it's just been beyond unfair what happened to them. But they need to talk, otherwise nothing can be done. He logs off with no response, however, telling them that he'll try again next week. An unknown amount of time later, the researcher logs back into the server, asking them for help. He doesn't know how long it's been since he last tried to communicate, but he begs them to respond as he needs help. Gloria finally says something, and the researcher says he needs their help as he's trapped in a lab during a containment breach. He doesn't have time to explain, but they're not the only anomalous things around, and one of them, a monster, broke free. Gloria asks what he wants them to do about it, and the researcher just asks for help, as it's outside in the hall, killing people. Gloria says that he doesn't understand what he's asking for, and she's not even sure the others are still here, but the other two chime in at that point. The researcher says that he wants them to fight it, and the others look to Gloria as their leader for what they should do. She can't be their leader, though, as it's her fault that they're all stuck here, since it was her computer, her mods, and her server. They don't care, though, and tell her to make the call. The researcher begs again for their help as it's breaking down the door, so Gloria decides to load in. The following day, the researcher logs back in, and Gloria says that they're feeling better after talking a lot. He says that they're still running numbers on deaths, but the numbers are a lot lower than it would have been if they hadn't helped. Gloria says that's good, but she wants a straight, truthful answer on whether or not they killed anyone during the battle. The researcher is sure that they didn't, as practically everyone in the area was already dead when they manifested in. The three of them talked and came to a decision, as they've been stuck here while the Foundation runs tests on them, and they're not allowed to talk to their families. They don't believe that they're ever getting out of this server, and the researcher admits that they don't know what to do or how to get them out, if that would even be a possible thing. They accept this, but they say that they want to do something, and there's really only one thing they're good at now. They've already done a lot of damage and killed a lot of people, but they can't do anything about that now. Instead, they want to save lives by killing monsters for the Foundation, remarking that they're unstoppable, nigh-immortal, digitized death gods who have spent more than 10 years practice killing each other in endlessly looped murder orgies. Their one condition is that they never want to kill another person again. The researcher tells them that he'll have to talk to his superiors.
I don't see why not. I don't see
when
why
he
they
logs
wouldn't let
back
it go.
in, he tells them that they said yes.
I'm gonna say, 'cause they
This
tweaking
led to the
thing.
creation of MTF Omega 9, the Scrubs. Their mission involves instantaneous
The Scrubs.
deployment into extreme circumstances requiring the delivery of overwhelming force. Their primary purpose is as a rapid response team for containment breaches involving violent, hostile anomalies, only to be used for non-human targets. Even the Foundation's not foolish enough to waste a team of cooperative, immortal slaughterers.
I was about to say, 'cause y'all goofy if you want.
Not all of these articles were about weird video games, which is perhaps what you might have assumed going in.
Nah,
but
not
each
really.
at least was directly connected with
I didn't know
one
what to
in
think,
some
to be honest
fashion.
with you. So many video games out here.
There are plenty more, of course, which is no surprise,
I'm sure.
since video games are such an important part of modern internet culture. From Polybius to Lavender Town, myths and legends about video games have continued to crop up for decades, and just like SCP in general, form a new age of folklore.
Shit, man, that's crazy, bro. That is, hey. Okay, that's the bitch. Hopefully we can find some more, man, you know what I'm saying? Because they very interesting. But Lord, hey, y'all tell me, man, hey, how do you feel about being trapped in a video game? Like, how would you feel about that? Like, I would definitely, you know what I'm saying, if we can wing it the way that they ended it that way, to be able to just, you know what I mean? So I ain't just stuck in it, and I can't just do nothing. It's crazy that they got, man, that's crazy, bro. That's crazy. I think I've seen something like this too before. I mean, I'm sure I've seen some type of movie that this happened. I'm sure I have. I may have to just do a little quick search and just see what movies pop up that has this information in it, that just something like this happened. And that's going to let you know the realism of it. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm going to do that when we get up out of here. Do you some homework. Maybe you may find something interesting. You know what I mean? Watch if something pops up, watch it. See what you learn. Come back and share it with the class. You know what I mean? Come back and let us know what you find. You know what I mean? But in the meantime, y'all keep your head on the swivel. Don't forget to keep yourself spiritually, mentally, physically, and emotionally protected out there. You know what I mean? Don't let the world drive y'all crazy, please. We shall return. We got more series coming with you. We got something dropped in the community server. Not community server, the community post. To get your take on how y'all want to go about the longer series, because they're gonna get up to like 2 hours of video. You know what I mean? Which probably gonna be like an hour and a half, something. So I just want to see how y'all would like to go about it. If you can do the whole bit, let's vote on it. If you rather just break them down and do, well, if it's like a 3-part series, we'll bust it down and make it a 5-part series so everybody can get it in and watch the entirety of it. You know what I mean? We want to be fair with all the academies. You know what I'm saying? So y'all put your heads together. Y'all let me know what y'all want to do. You know what I'm saying? If 1 person speaks, 2 people speak, 3 people speak. You know what I mean? That's basically all we need. Me and the team, we've been talking about a way to do it. So, but I'd rather get your take on it first. You know what I mean? Because y'all will be the ones that's viewing it afterwards. So, however y'all want to do it, we'll run it that way. You know what I mean? So, I'd rather be fair. Yeah. In the meantime, you know what I'm saying? It's keep yourself protected out there, man. Protect your energy. Watch out for the energy vampires. They everywhere. They come in different forms and fashions, as you see. Even video games could be an energy drainer for you. You know what I'm saying? And have yourself trapped into a world that you may not be able to get out of. And as we see, the SCP Foundation don't know it again. They don't know a damn thing again. Can't help nobody, bro. But they want everybody to help them, bro. We can't keep doing this. Y'all can't keep having control of, and you don't have the mind for it. You don't have the mental fortitude. You don't have the genius. You don't have the smarts. You don't have the intelligence. You ain't got nothing but money and a little bit of power, bro. But as we see, if things don't want to go with you, y'all lucky. You know what I'm saying? Some of these things are like sapient and humanoid type and actually got, you know what I'm saying, intelligence itself to just go with you. Because some of these things will overpower y'all at any given moment. Like, y'all wouldn't have been able to do nothing with the plague doctor if he didn't really want to get taken. Like, let's just be real. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't know how he moves around. Like, come on, dude. And then you realize there was another one just like him and they're from the same world. So he's not the only one. See what I'm saying? It's stuff like that I be paying attention to. So, as we see, the SCP Foundation, they don't know enough to be wiping other people's minds. That's ultimately what I'm saying in this situation. They don't know enough to be anesthetizing everybody, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, bro. Everybody don't need a lobotomy, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? We ain't got, you know what I'm saying? Like, y'all tweaking out there, bro. For real. You don't know nothing. You can use the help. And now these folks, they got caught in the video game. Y'all don't know how to help them, but now they got to help you. And they ain't even know y'all existed. See what I'm saying? They ain't even know you existed. Now they stuck helping you because they're stuck in a video game and they just want to make themselves useful. But before that happened, y'all realized that they was out there actually slaughtering people before you caught on to what was really going on. That's 1,500 people gone. Or plus. 1,500 plus. Because they don't even really know how many people they put down before y'all caught on to, hey, what's really going on? And then you caught on to it, and there's nothing you can do to help these people. But then they're deciding to help you because now y'all are getting beat up by a monster that y'all don't want us to know about. But now y'all in a facility getting your ass handed to you, and now you're going to reach out to them to help you, but you can't help them in return. Come on, bro. That's why I was like, man, y'all tweaking to not take the deal that she gave you. You know what I'm saying? It's because, I mean, they're useful. There's your weapon, but there's nothing that you can do to help them. So it's not, I don't think it's an even energy exchange. See what I'm saying? So I hope that these three are smart enough to tell their ass no sometimes. I mean, man, y'all can't do nothing to help us, bro. So, nah, we don't feel like doing it today. Y'all deal with it. You've been dealing with it. Feel me? But anyways, okay, that makes, y'all check out the community post. You know what I'm saying? Let me know. Then we'll get back on these series. I got a couple more little single terrors that we gonna do, and yeah, to give y'all a little time. You know what I'm saying? To see what we can do. Because like I said, they're very long videos. But anyways, peace.